Hello and welcome to the Tank Club. Today we're going to be looking at the New World Brimstone Sands release, and we're going to be taking a look at kind of the things that are going to impact PvE tanks for this patch. So just to start off with, we've got Brimstone Sands zone, brand new zone. It's absolutely huge. There's lots of new story content, lots of things to discover. It's a really nice new zone. You're going to have to check it out. It's like I say, it's massive new zone. We've also got the new expedition. We've got the Ennead Expedition, which is a new endgame PvE content. There'll be mutations and all sorts of stuff with this particular expedition as well. So something to get yourself into if you want to start hitting up some more endgame content. The Halloween event starts today. The Night Vale Hallow, it's for level 35 plus, and it's going to run until November the 1st. So you want to get that started off as soon as you can. Don't miss out on the Halloween event. And new things that are coming for this patch. So we'll start off with a few of the little things. There's been minor fixes to pretty much all weapons. The Warhammer's had a change with Shockwave. So when you use the Shockwave ability, it used to stun people even through block and enemies through block. It's been changed, so now if they're blocking, it won't stun them. So that's been changed. There's been some big changes to gear loot. So the main thing here is the named items. When they drop between 5 and 600 gear score, they now drop at 590 every single time. This is great news because you just think if you had 520 gear score, for example, on one of your weapons, and you managed to loot a best in slot weapon and your gear score was low and it wasn't at that 590 plus, you would get a weapon that becomes essentially useless because you can't upgrade it. So really good update there. You've also got the improved perk combinations, which will really help. So they're making it easier for you to obtain the gear that you need, and that is a great thing. OPR reward chests give guaranteed expertise bumps, so people that are coming back to the game, you're going to get expertise easier now. Again, they've added so many new things over the last couple of patches, which will help newer players or returning players to catch up again. So that is really good. Some of the new content that you're going to see. So the Great Sword weapon. It's a good looking weapon. It's got a defensive aspect. So the Great Sword, on first look, it is more of a defensive damage weapon rather than a PvE tank weapon. The Great Sword does look like it's going to be good for that solo content. If you're like a tank and you want to do overland or solo content, maybe PvP as a tank, using the Great Sword could be a really good option maybe. I don't think it has enough utility for use in things like expeditions. So the Sword and the Shield, Great Axe, Warhammer, those kinds of things, they have like a lot of perks and benefits. And I just don't see the same use from the Great Sword as I do from those weapons. So yes, it will be a good weapon while you're leveling, while you're doing overland content and questing and that kind of stuff, maybe killing bosses, farming items. But I don't know if it's going to be that useful in terms of actual difficult endgame content. We will test this out on the live server because obviously I've not had time to really go in and run all the expeditions and the mutated ones to find out is this going to work in place of other things. But I can see where situations where it is going to be useful. So it is a really nice looking weapon. It's going to give you that defensive damage. Another new thing we're going to see is heart gem abilities. These are basically the same as having like an ultimate ability. So you have to like generate it and build it up. You build it up when you take damage, while blocking, doing damage, healing. And then once you kind of fill up the heart gem that you've got, you press the button. It's like having another skill on your skill bar, and you unleash it whenever you like. So you can kind of time it for a specific situation or a specific mechanic if you know. For tanks, you've got a couple of good ones that I've seen. The Stone Form ability, which turns you into stone. It makes you immune to stagger, knockback, stuns, roots, and slows. Looks really good. It could be really useful for kind of survival purposes, because there are some situations where bosses will take a lot of stamina off you when you're blocking their big hits. And sometimes I've seen some bosses that do like 3 or 4 hits back to back where you're guaranteed to run out of stamina and then you become block broken. Maybe you could use Stone Form to counteract that, where you can kind of take a hit, take 2 hits, Stone Form, then you can't be stunned, you can't be block broken. So you could time it for those specific mechanics within PvE content as a tank. So I do like the look of that one. The other one I like the look of is Grasping Vines. So this one is another potential good option. You punch your hand into the ground to unleash vines around you that roots enemies. So if you combine this with other things that can pull stuff in, like your Great Axe, you can pull enemies in, you hold them in place, and then you use your root to root them in place as well to keep everything stacked so your group can stack and burn everything. That could be another good option. The other ones, there are 5 in total. The other ones are more damage orientated, like there's one that explodes. There's another one where you shoot something at the enemy. So those are potentially going to be good for different builds, but I don't think, especially for tanks, they're going to be that useful. Maybe if you're kind of doing more solo content. Finally, the last thing I wanted to look at was the rune glass gems. So now, when you take your gem, you can craft it into something more powerful than a regular gem. So you can cut gems currently and place them onto your gear to get a bonus and like an extra perk to your gear or your weapon. Now you can add in a new aspect to this. So you got a combination with ancient glyphs. You can make something that's even more powerful. So you could take, for example, your carnelian gem, and you could mix it in to make a leeching carnelian. And it's like, if you've got it as a weapon gem, it's going to provide you with the taunt, it's going to provide you with the threat that it does already, but you're also going to get an additional benefit. So if you had the leeching one, for example, you return a percentage of your damage as health. If you use like the energizing carnelian, you'd return 4 stamina with each successful hit you do. So if you struggle for stamina regen, maybe you're kind of doing light attacks, light attack block weaving to kind of get more stamina back. 4 stamina each time you do a successful hit. That looks like a good option as well. For your armor as well, you've got the leeching, the energizing. Most people use onyx gems on their gear, so you could use an onyx rune glass gem, maybe with, like I say, with leeching that's going to give you health. You've got energizing, which could give you stamina back, or you've got things like punishing, which will do more damage. So there's lots and lots of different things, and you'll get those on top of the physical damage absorption that you already get. So these rune glass gems, great addition. They're going to increase the power that you have as a tank. The heart gem abilities, adding another skill basically onto the skills that you've already got, adding a new ability in there to give you an extra benefit. And then I say, with the great sword as well, you got a really nice weapon that's probably going to help you a lot with that overland content, being able to be defensive while still do damage, still output some good damage and be able to do that content. All really, really nice changes. There's a ton of bug fixes and updates as well, some quality of life stuff. These are the main things that we will see improved for PvE tanking, and I really hope you enjoy the new patch, guys. Brimstone Sands out today, October the 18th, 2022. Enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.